Welcome to the Nerdy Show.
The Nerdy Show.
Yo, folks, what's happening? Is that an abrupt enough intro for you? Welcome to the Nerdy Show presents the timelines of Terminator. I'm Troy Stark, and thank you for joining us. I will say, if you want to move up a little bit closer, this is a comedy show. They generally go better when we have when we're close. That being said, no pressure. I know that we all like our personal space.
Thank you so much.
I like you guys over there. Good job.
Awesome. So, let me intro. I'm Troy Stark. Let me intro the rest of the people here. Chief Technician Sarag Maledian.
Greetings.
We got Field Agent Reese Turner.
Hey, everybody.
And then the T-1000 himself, Daniel Carey. So, in case you guys haven't been to a nerdy show before, we do lots of different things. Today we're doing a panel, but there's a couple things you need to know. First off,
Spoiler alerts, right?
Spoiler
yeah,
alert, yeah.
we do have that.
now,
We're gonna spoil it all.
if you haven't seen Terminator, I don't know why you're here, but there will be spoilers.
You're all Terminator fans, I imagine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still some of us left. I love it. Hanging in there.
They'll whittle us down. So yeah, we will be spoiling as much as we can with this. We're going to speculate wildly at the end about what's going to happen in this new one, but it's going to take a minute to get there, right? So yeah, there will be spoilers. What else is there to say?
Oh yeah, well it is also a comedy show, so guys, let's smile, let's laugh. We're not going to be completely accurate, but you can correct us after the show or during. We'll have a Q&A, I think.
Yeah, like, someone, I guarantee right now, someone's going to slip up, say T800 when they meant T1000, when they should have said T2000, when they should have said TX. It doesn't matter.
T-Mobile.
Wait, it does matter, but just wait until after. All right? Please don't interrupt us. It hurts my feelings.
We'll field questions, but not take them super seriously. So that's... other than that, yeah, like, so, for example, if I said something like... Arnold Schwarzenegger only agreed to do the movie if James Cameron could get the anti-aging technology that they used on Michael Douglas in Ant-Man. You don't need to correct me. That's obviously a joke. It's true, but also... No, okay, I'm not. Okay. Anyway, the point is, we'll take questions at the end. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Now that I've got the unpleasant business of hosting out of the way, are you guys ready to talk about Terminator?
We're gonna fix this timeline?
Yeah. You're all obviously fans. You're all obviously, like, have seen at least one of them, right? But if you are a fan of the Terminator franchise, then you've probably lived this experience where you watch the new movie and it's okay. And then 7 years later, you give it a second shot because you've healed from the first time watch. And then you start to become okay with the timeline that was established just, short months ago, even though it was 7 years ago, but it took you that long to cope. And then you find out that 3 months from now they're releasing a new one and all the continuity is going to be messed again, It's heartbreaking to know that the characters that you've hated, then grew to love, then kind of accept, might not last,
I've never seen a franchise take advantage of its fan base more than I think the Terminator. They're just like, don't stick around, right? We'll just erase it all and start it again.
Well, you got Star Wars. I think they take.
That's divided a lot of people.
There has been a lot of... That's like the ultimate taking advantage of your fans.
Yeah, the ultimate.
Star Trek would never do that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. We love porgs, right, guys?
So basically what we're trying to do today is help you guys remember the parts of the Terminator franchise that actually still matter, remind you of the parts that, like, used to matter, don't anymore. And ultimately talk about all the amazing stuff that like was so cool. Who even cares if the rest of the movie was any good? You know?
Yeah.
Like, Terminator is one of the best franchises for that.
Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know that, like, Terminator was actually in Titanic, in James Cameron's Titanic.
The Terminator was in there?
It was the iceberg. And I defy any of you to find proof to the contrary.
I would have liked, if we're going to put the Terminator in that movie, I would have liked to think that like one of those liquid bots, you know?
Yeah, the iceberg.
Yeah, no, that it was posing as the car.
Oh!
Like some sort of creep?
Yeah, I just wanted to watch Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet get down.
I mean, what better angle than all around? Yeah, it's creepy, but I didn't do it. It was that weird Terminator bot in this fictional scenario. Okay, let's move past that. So anyway, let's start off the top, right?
So yeah, we'll just start with the one that started it all, right?
Terminator,
The
1984.
movie Schwarzenegger, the movie.
Yeah, that's the one.
Can you read the tagline real quick? Because it's a great tagline.
Yeah, sure. In the year of darkness. All right, I'm already there, baby. In the year of darkness, 2029, the rulers of this planet devised the ultimate plan. They would reshape the future by changing the past. The plan required something that felt no pity, no pain, no fear, something unstoppable. They created the Terminator.
Ooh.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
So at the top of this movie, right? Excellent theme song, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
At the top of this movie, the timeline is like pristine. Like no one's ever time traveled before. It's gold. It's great. And then this guy comes back in time. Kyle Reese. We all know we're talking about Kyle Reese right now, right? And, you know, they talk, like he said, there's all this evil. They talk about everything that's, you know, going to happen in 2029, and we got to take action now.
Yeah, Bill Gates and Microsoft need to be stopped.
And then, at the end of the movie, they just win.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, the robot's done. We win. Problem solved, right? No?
No, because there's 17 more movies.
Yeah, there wouldn't be
after that.
17 more movies if the problem was solved. So at the end of the movie, we kind of realized that the timeline's not actually that pristine. Kyle Reese committed the cardinal sin of time travel.
Do you guys know what that is? We got a hand up. You got to put up
Joker.
your hand here. Joker.
Yeah,
That's right.
all right.
He
There
got
you go,
both
Joker.
of them in one.
Yeah.
Don't bang your mom. Don't kill your granddad until he's had at least one kid. So that the bloodline continues, right?
Okay, don't
That's
bang
a
your
good
granddad.
rule. That's a good rule whether you're time traveling or not, honestly.
Yeah, fair. Very fair.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
But especially in time travel.
Yes.
So he goes back in time to like set the timeline, and like we learn that not only does he impregnate the timeline, but how else would you say that? Not only does he like mess with the timeline, but like we kind of realize that like, oh, he was sent back to do that, not only to stop the Terminator, but to make a John Connor. Creepy.
But you're right, though, what you say, it's solid. The time travel, it's simple.
Yeah.
You get it. It's summed up. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It exists by itself. It's a closed loop. Boom.
What year? Look, maybe this is a cardinal sin. Is the film's in the present, like it's set in 1984? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Just checking.
But they have news from 2029.
I read
Now,
that.
that's actually a really good
Definitely.
question, because now we're going to jump to the next one.
Right. Okay.
Terminator 2, it would be called.
Judgment Day. Yeah.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Now, this one came out in 1991, but it was set in 1995.
In the distant
We all know why
future.
that was. So that the kid playing John Connor would be old enough to shoot a gun and it wouldn't be like real messed up, you know? You put an AR-15 in an 8-year-old's hands, it's not good in any situation, you know? 12, 13 years old, boom, he can handle a gun, no problem. This is America.
I think the AR number should be at least smaller than
age
the
limit?
Yeah. Like an AR-8 could be held by the 8-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
It's like like a board game, like ages 8 and up. Yeah.
Yeah, one would hope that it would start at 18 or 21 then, no?
Yeah.
well,
USA. All right, so.
So anyway, Terminator 2 happens, and you've all seen the movie.
oh,
Arnold's back, but he's good now. Amazing, right?
Yeah,
Honestly, flawless.
it's flawless. I cried at that.
Yeah.
I cried at that.
Every nerdy
Hands up
show.
if you cried at that.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Every nerdy show panel contains at least one.
Oh yeah, if you weren't there for the Spider-Man panel, we talked a lot about crying. Yeah.
I cry a lot.
Well, want to talk about more Terminator? So,
Reese needs a minute, guys.
Oh my god.
I'll just tell them about the movie while you go through your stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, in this movie, like, we get to see, like, kind of what happened, like, the first time that this franchise uses that big old reset button that they're going to keep using again and again and again, right? They're like, yeah, we know you killed the guy in the last movie and everything was gravy, but guess what? There's more guys. And they gotta be killed too. And now you should kill some guys, Skynet. And yeah, basically they establish the premise that like beating Skynet doesn't mean you've won. It means that you've moved the goalpost a little bit. So now the apocalypse isn't 2029, it's 2032 or a little bit later. Action is still required.
Would you say that this is like still okay? The time travel thing kind of makes sense, but they're starting to like muddy the waters. Like it's starting to be like, I don't know if you make another one of these, it's going to be real confusing and weird, and it doesn't make much sense.
Well, correct me if I'm. Didn't John Connor from the future create, or make the Terminator to protect his younger self?
He
Yes.
reprogrammed him, yeah.
So is some time travel? Can he? How does that? There's a first conundrum right there.
Well, he also sent back Kyle Reese, right, to become his own father. Like, Kyle Reese didn't go with the intention of being the dad, but
Prove it.
John Connor,
That's the coolest thing
John
ever, by the
Connor
way.
sees him and he's like, that would be a wicked dad to have.
Yeah.
Yo, you ever heard of 1984, dude?
The thing I saw Terry Crews was like, Terry, let me tell you something.
Yeah! You ever heard of my mom, Terry?
But yeah, it does start to get a little wonky. I mean, not like too much. It's a solid story. You follow the film perfectly, I think. But
Well, it's a sequel. It's like the prototypical sequel, right?
Yeah.
It did everything perfectly.
But it
And should've
basically opens it up to as many sequels as they want. Like, there's never an end, right?
right.
They set it up that you can just boom, boom, boom. Like Lego pieces, the franchise.
It's considered like one of the top, best action films. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but yeah, right? Yeah.
Terminator 2?
I can always go back and watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Terminator 2, absolutely.
Still holds up, still looks great. Love it.
T3 on the other hand. That's where the franchise.
Are you ready for that? Because then it goes real downhill. I gotta tell you. Once I hit this next button, it's not getting pretty.
Terminator 2 ends like, and then T3 kind of comes down.
Ends like that, yeah. It starts like that, yeah.
Okay. The visual didn't work.
No, that's okay.
If I was melting into a pit of lava, it probably would.
Yeah, I forgot the lava at home.
Damn.
Darn it.
This show's never gonna work. Okay, yeah, basically Terminator 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah, it just kind of sucked. There was that one good chase scene. You remember that?
The highway,
Yeah.
fun.
Fun.
Can I say maybe the film quality isn't great, but correct me if I'm wrong. They take a pretty big swing at the end, right? Where
Oh, it does have a pretty awesome ending.
pretty
you're right.
bleak,
Like, basically, like, it's inevitable. You can't avoid the... Yeah, that's the whole point of that, is that they can't avoid the apocalypse, no matter what.
Sure, as
It's gonna
technology
happen.
progresses, so the artificial intelligence, and we're all doomed, and fucking throw your iPhone out.
right?
That's the point of T3. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the movie seems a little lighter, and maybe like you're watching it, and it doesn't have the weight maybe of T2.
It was the first one with new actors.
Yeah, new
and-
director.
Yeah, and they kind of were trying, I think, go for the younger appeal. You get Nick Stoll, is that his name? Stoll?
Stahl.
Stahl? From Carnival. He was hot back then.
Nick Stahl from Carnival, the rhyme.
That's how you remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a big old miss in my mind. Except he did, the one thing that I did like about that is it starts with him just just stealing a whole lot of medication from the vet, right? It's really really junky behavior for the savior of humanity.
You relate to that, right? That's what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like all heroes have their low points, Mine is like the first 30 years of my life, but then huge uptick. Okay, so the timeline. Let's talk about the timeline in T3 because none of us really want to relive it that much, right? Starts off, they're like, T2 is great, we're going to keep doing more of that. And then they kind of just do. There's the twist at the end, which do you want to walk us through it?
Which is that no matter what, it can't avoid the apocalypse. It's going to happen no matter.
So we'll be seeing you in 18 months with another movie, right? Once again, they reestablished, we're going to do the reset button, move the goalpost, and that's that. We'll do what we want.
What was I'm sorry, I haven't seen T3 in a little while. What was special about the villain lady?
The TX.
The TX. What was, because we got the first Terminator, just like a exo skeleton thing, and then a human.
Yeah. It's almost like the next
and then the next one, Liquid.
Yeah.
So what's the third? How did they progress in that one?
Didn't she do like a swarm of like almost bees? Like she did like some crazy teleport at one point.
So she's gaseous. They're working through all states of matter.
like so instead of being the liquid, it's like more of like nano swarm kind of idea.
Right.
So
I feel she had a lot of dentist tools. She had a lot of drills and like that little tiny mirror that put in your mouth. I feel like she had that.
She was all like spit.
Yeah,
she had suction tool.
Yeah.
Dental hygienist bot, but then reprogrammed to destroy John Connor.
I feel like they were never really able to live up to Liquid Terminator.
That was the best Terminator.
I mean, spoilers. They continue to not live.
No, that's the idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, how can you top that?
You can't. A Dragon Terminator.
Dragon Terminator.
Dark Fate.
It's going like medieval. You know what? The Batman medieval was wicked, so I would do like medieval Terminator. I think it would really thematically lose a lot, though. Okay, so Terminator 3, they kind of just do a standard movie, right? And it's okay. At the end of the timeline, they say, it's never going to end. We're never going to stop making these. Get ready for many more. That's not the wording they use, but that's the message they sent, right? And then next is my favorite one. My favorite.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the show then?
Yeah, hell yeah. Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. How many of you?
Oh, you got some fans here.
Wow.
More than I thought.
I loved it. You had Cersei as Sarah Connor, which was like, it was before she was Cersei, but she was evil, you know? It was great. I really, really liked this show. And what they did is they established a continuity that said that Terminator 3 did not happen. They were just like, let's go back to Terminator 2. We're going to just keep moving on from Terminator 2. Everything that happened after Terminator 2, comics, movies, video games, it doesn't exist now. Which was just Terminator 3, pretty much. But yeah, they kind of said like, we're doing our own thing.
So this show is set after the events of T. I thought it was before. Isn't Sarah Connor a young?
Yeah, but so it's set like a few years before the events of Terminator 3.
Okay.
But the events that roll out in the show mean that the events that happened in Terminator 3 can't happen because they've now changed. So like by episode 2, Terminator 3 is out the window.
Right.
And then they do 2 seasons and it's like fairly good action television. But yeah, so that's done.
I didn't watch the show.
Well, yeah, there's like 6 people.
I don't know I'm on this panel.
There's 6 people.
I say we shouldn't do it.
You're the chief technician. I need you for the slideshow.
Man, someone's got to hit that button.
Anyway, we'll skip past that pretty quickly because they essentially just erased T3.
And can I ask, how does the series end in terms of timeline? What any big reveals by the end of season 2?
Season 2 ends in a cliffhanger because they were expecting season 3.
Yeah.
And they got canceled as heck. So no satisfying conclusion, but that is a very good theme for this franchise.
Yes.
It all took place in a snow globe. The snow globe timeline.
And then Salvation came out.
Oh, baby.
Oh, what a hunk. Sarah Connor was played by No one?
Mm-hmm.
What a relief, huh?
This was an all-dude Terminator film.
That's what we want to
That's
see!
what I see. Right?
Sarah Connor is like, she's the hero of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't need her this time around. I mean, it's set in the future, and we already, anyway.
I mean, is it just me though? But like, I'm so not into the future part of like the apocalypse part. I don't care about the war, the ongoing war that's going on.
Well, it takes
I don't want to see a whole movie about that. I never was interested in that.
It takes place in a future they're trying to erase, right? So it's
I guess that's cool, but I don't know. It was just so ugly and gross.
No, I'm with Soraya. But did it take place like this one, the future one?
yeah.
Does this take place before I hate time travel stuff so much.
Are you asking me about release dates or the actual timeline?
Everything now.
This was actually released while season 2 of Sarah Connor was still on TV, and they were planning on doing a season 3.
That's amazing.
And they didn't acknowledge.
Not even a little bit. Like in one scene where somebody should have let Sarah Connor know, and they were like this. Who?
He looks directly into the camera, and he's like played by Cersei. You know?
Oh, wait.
Not the Linda Hamilton one.
I just know for a fact that my dad loved this movie.
Yeah.
My dad gave this
It's a good
movie
dad movie.
a huge boost.
Yeah.
He saw it in the theaters 3 times. I was like, why did you do that? He's like, oh, I was bored.
You know, I understand it though, because like it's like the Expendables, right? Like,
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good case.
if you're gonna
That's a
watch
good
it,
movie.
you gotta watch it on the big screen because it's
Oh.
just like gigantic. I mean, no one really wants to see Stallone that big anymore, but like the explosions are cool, and they're cool if they're huge. I would not look. I'm just saying I wouldn't like show the Expendables to someone in like in my living room.
On your iPhone?
Yeah.
The best thing about that movie was guessing which scene it was that Christian Bale went off on that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just guessing, like, was it that scene? Was that the scene where you think he got angry at that
He
white
looks
guy?
angry in this scene. Is that just acting, or is that the day?
Is that the day of? Yeah.
Y'all heard that voicemail?
Yeah.
Not
No?
voicemail.
Oh.
Audio recording.
Audio recording.
Oh, the audio clip was amazing.
Yeah.
Now we have to keep Comic-Con relatively PG, but you should Google that.
Yeah. We were gonna play it, but it's pretty.
He's doing it right now in the
a
front row.
lot of F words.
Yo, bookmark.
Wait, somebody play it through a microphone.
I just said we weren't going to do that.
Well, we'll move it for when he swears.
So, I'm sorry
No,
to
shit.
get us back to the movie. But so, Chris, the Bale Man,
Yeah.
as I call him,
The Balester.
he's an old John Connor.
Uh-huh.
He's
Yeah.
in the thick of war.
Yeah.
Who's Sam Worthington?
He's a Terminator that doesn't know he's a Terminator, right?
Yes.
Oh, sleeper cell. He's
Right.
He's a Sleeper Cell Terminator. Yeah, he's the Manchurian candidate of Terminators.
Right. Because I also saw this film, but unlike your father, I only saw it once and I didn't really like it. Don't quite remember. I'm a fan of Mick G's work.
Oh yeah, he directed
Yes.
this. Yeah.
So yeah, how does this? What happens by the end of the film?
Well, at
What's
one
happening
point,
at the time?
Mr. Terminator Man is like all chained up, and he's like, "I'm not a robot." And then they're like, "Here, there goes your stomach," and he's just like, "Oh shit, I'm a robot." That's pretty much how the movie was stupid.
Tell me, if you had an exoskeleton, like, you know, robot, like, you would know you're a robot. I feel like you would know that immediately,
Like
right?
if you weighed 1,800 pounds.
Yeah, you-
You step on this stage, it collapses under your weight. You very well may be a Terminator.
If you try and catch a baseball and it's just out of reach, but then your arm extends just enough to get it,
You might be a Terminator.
I feel like every time he'd go through a door, he would just rip it right open, you know? Like,
Yeah, he wouldn't know his own strength. He just pushes this door clean through the other auditorium.
now look, maybe the movie explains it. If we had done our jobs, we would have watched all these movies before this panel. That's a lot of movies.
some of them I will never watch again.
Clearly.
Not true.
We're all gonna watch Terminator Salvation with my dad.
I would love that actually. And
Next year at Comic-Con, we're gonna have a screening with my dad.
If you guys want to see that, vote for it.
Vote for it!
On your Comic-Con fan. It's 1-800.
I promise you now, I will pitch the Nerdy Show presents movies
dad
with Reese's
watching
dad.
Terminator.
I'm going to pitch it to Comic-Con. We'll see if they accept.
They'll take anything. Look, we're here.
Check this out.
I was like, they're not going to accept a Terminator panel. Yet here we are.
They will. Terminator's amazing. Okay.
Thank you very much, Comic-Con, for having us. If anybody's in the room, hey.
Yeah, there you go.
You watched all the movies we toured.
They're volunteers. They don't mind. They have no allegiance.
Yeah, let's.
So is this the first time we see CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes. Yeah. His face is on another man's body, as far as I remember. That's what they did.
I didn't like that.
And I know it wasn't his body. Anyway.
What I liked about it is that, like, you know, people were complaining about that moment specifically, but like, what is more Terminator than like, just give him another face? Who cares? Like, that body on that face, it'll work.
You know, James Cameron was wishing he could do that with Edward Furlong right now, right? Let's just replace that little creepy guy. Put Macaulay Culkin in there. Tell me Terminator 2 wouldn't be better if it was Macaulay Culkin as John Connor, right? Setting traps and stuff. It'd be amazing.
Oh my God.
Or one of the kids from Stranger Things. That'd be.
All of the kids from Stranger Things versus the Terminator. I want to see a couple of them get killed.
I think that's probably season 4 of Stranger Things. Okay, so after Salvation, which, by the way, when they launched Salvation, this is part of the timeline you might not have known. When they launched Salvation, it was supposed to be the first movie in a new trilogy of Terminator Salvation movies. Whoa. Oh, and then the box office disagreed. So we never got to see that part of the timeline that followed Salvation through, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But are we actually that sad right now?
Not at all.
No. So that was kind of a miss that we're glad we did.
And I thought it was going to be the end of Terminator for a big long while.
You throw Christian Bale in anything.
I wasn't hoping, but I thought it was going to be the end.
It seemed that way for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was like T3 was
Where do you
disappointing.
go?
We're trying something new.
Yeah.
Disappointing. Well, seems like we don't know
What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Which was?
Oh, Terminator Sega Genesis?
Yeah!
Such an easy, everyone thought of that. When that came out.
Wonderful.
Which, now we have Daenerys playing Sarah Connor, which is a nice
Wow, that's Game of
coincidence.
Thrones thing. Who do you think is going to be the next Sarah Connor?
I was thinking, like, who's the lady that played... Yeah! I was going to say the old Tyrell lady. Like Sarah Connor in 2037, and she's like,
Old Lady Connor. Old Man Connor.
that would be wicked, though.
Yeah.
She runs into Logan.
I actually feel like I saw this movie last week and I remember nothing. Like I think I saw the movie in the theaters and then left and was like, I don't remember a single thing.
But I'm 99% sure that this is the movie that Schwarzenegger paid for the highway to get made so he could flip that truck. Do you guys know that fact? In LA, there was like this like highway or bypass or whatever that the city couldn't afford to make, to structurally like put in to the city. And they wanted to film a new Terminator movie, but he wanted to have this stunt where literally the like an 18-wheeler truck is like going down the highway and then it's like stopped by like a Terminator and then it like flips
Over the Terminator.
over like nose over, and but not CGI. They wanted to really flip an 18-wheeler over the highway.
Didn't they already do that in The Dark Knight?
Yeah, but
They wanted to do it again.
but the governor was like, listen, LA was like, we have nowhere that you can just throw trucks around. Like, this is one of the most populous cities in the continent. What are you talking about? And he was like, I build a highway, I flip the truck, you take the highway.
Wow.
And they did that. They built a stretch of highway so they could do the stunt and then donated it to the city because you can't move it.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping we'd get through this panel without an Arnold impression, but
No chance. Wasn't even
I was
conscious.
fighting one the whole time.
Yeah, I know you
I was
were.
fighting
I know
one the
you
whole
were.
time, but...
so this. Correct me if I'm wrong. If we're talking wonky timelines,
Yeah.
this wonks the wonkiness out of all the other wonkiness.
This is a wonk attack.
So
Just-
it comes in and once again says, nothing has happened since Terminator 2. That's where it starts. It's like, none of it counts. You wasted everything, all of your time since 1991.
This movie also, for some reason, had like that weird video that for like the promo. They had a video of James Cameron going like, "Listen, I had nothing to do with this movie, but it is the greatest Terminator movie of all time that I didn't make. You guys have to see this. Can I get my paycheck?" And they still like.
That was on camera. That last
on
part.
camera, yeah.
Can I have my paycheck? And they cut.
Yeah, they pan out, he's in the shower.
Also, this movie had Jai Courtney. I knew right away Jai Courtney is not going to be good.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Have they acted in any sense? No, I'm genuinely wondering.
Boomerang, baby. He's Suicide Squad's Boomerang.
Yeah, I can't picture.
Weren't you in Suicide Squad for like?
I was in the background of Suicide Squad and a couple.
Where's that scene?
Huh?
The scene with Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You
I
played
don't
the
recall.
Boomerang.
I don't recall.
Well, I remember this film, the commercials, the trailer, spoiled a whole bunch.
Right.
I remember that. Even watching the trailer, and I'm going to spoil it for you because they didn't care, John Connor has some robot in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a liquid Terminator. He's like a dust Terminator or something.
Again, I don't know what shit going on.
He's got a pacemaker and some other stuff. Relax. It's
Yeah.
not like he's a machine. Oh wait, yeah, no, he's a machine now.
That
Because
was
he has a pacemaker? My granddad is a machine?
I mean, it's like a pace. Yeah, he is. But it's like 27 pacemaker.
He has the ability to Thanos snap, you know, and like come back and whatnot.
Yeah, he's
So how do they explain that in the timeline? How did he?
I genuinely. I think that they explained he was like wounded in battle and it was the only way to keep him alive.
Right.
And then
Yes.
whatever, you know.
Right,
Is
right.
that accurate?
I remember that Doctor Who ended up being Skynet or whatever. I remember that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Or was that? Yeah, he ended up being Skynet. And then they did that twist thing where it's like, we're not going to call ourselves Skynet, we're going to call ourselves Genesis.
Right.
Like they did that thing
Yeah.
too.
Which, you know, sure, whatever.
Everyone's swapping lines. Come with me if you want to live.
Oh yeah, that was like the greatest hits of the Terminator.
Yes.
Like they're doing all the great lines and like recreating the shots and stuff. Very much a greatest hits.
And you said this had a truck stunt like in it, right? And then
The
you know,
truck.
Terminator 2 obviously has that awesome chase with the
Yeah.
truck. And then I feel like Dark Fate in the trailer had some truck stuff going
big
on.
highway trucks.
So I sense there's a lot of themes going on there with Terminators and
Robots like big trucks.
Yeah, as we discovered.
Well, another thing about this, the timeline or the franchising of this is that for the second movie in a row, they announced that this was the first movie in a trilogy of a new Terminator Genesis trilogy. Yeah. And once
Yeah.
again, the box office has spoken.
Terminator Super Nintendo, Terminator.
But
Graphics, I don't care.
I do know this.
Terminator Dreamcast.
It did do very well overseas, actually, and like really bombed in North America. But
yeah.
you know, the Ukraine loved Terminator Genesis.
Interesting. Anyone have any perspective on that?
You want to talk about the global box office of Terminator Genesis?
Huge in Ukraine.
And I really thought this was the end of Terminator. I'm
Yes.
We all thought, and some of us hoped this was the end of
I
Terminator.
never hope. I love a good franchise, I like a good success story, but then I feel like, yeah, you know, this new one just came out immediately.
This new one, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
You want to speculate what you think is going to happen?
Dark Fate, Terminator
Yeah.
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate, or as I like to call it, I don't know, the walking in the sunset.
Well, I don't know if you can tell from the trailer, but it starts off by nothing has counted since Terminator 2. That's how it starts. And then Sarah Connor's gonna shoot some stuff. It's gonna be badass.
But Arnold is old.
I love it though.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of technology is how people become like, they age them so that they would be typically frail and elderly, but now he's still just as strong.
I think that's BS. The explanation of like my skin is organic, so it ages. It's like, come on, you're from the future. You can have plastic skin that never ages.
Okay, but let me riddle you this.
And
then.
if you have Botox now, you can't.
Hold on.
you can't
Let
have
me riddle you this. You start dating a handsome young Terminator that you don't know is a Terminator.
I like it.
Okay. He's got an end game. You don't know what it is. 3 years in, you're thinking, man, he hasn't aged a bit. I got a couple wrinkles though, right? 5 years in, you're like, these fucking gray hairs, but he still looks the same. 40 years in, you're like, God damn, you're a robot. You gotta, it's the organic skin that lets you blend in with the society that you're trying to infiltrate.
I like that your theory is that the Terminators are playing the long con game. These military superior beings are just like this. Wait, let's like time take care of these guys. We're computers.
These like sitcom Hogan heroes, like scenarios or whatever.
Just date them, let them live a happy life, and eventually they'll all die. That's actually a pretty good Terminator scenario, because warfare doesn't come in at all.
I just want to see a Terminator that starts in the lab of Boston Dynamics. Where they're just kicking the shit out of those robots with hockey sticks and beer bottles. And then one of them's like this. I've had enough. And then just turns and just slaps one clean like a football field away. And then he's like, my name is Skynet.
My name is Skynet.
Yeah, he may, you know, I've just, come on, that's 20 movies at least right there.
I mean, yeah. That's honestly more story than was in 2 seasons of Sarah Connor, so. But it was so
welcome.
It was so fun. I think that in this movie, they're going to definitely kill the Arnold bots off. I think that they're going to at least make us feel, or try to make us feel, that this is the last. We're doing more Terminators, but this is the last time you're going to see Arnold. And if he comes back, he's probably a bad guy. That would be like, you know, that would stir up some dust, I think, in the movie community, right? What do you guys think would be a huge ending?
I think Nick Fury shows up at the end.
We need your help.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's true. They can't, like, well, okay, sorry to go back to Genesis.
Sure.
But in that story, he was taking care of young Sarah, right, for many years. He's like her father. And then he, like, took her to, am I wrong?
You're talking about Genesis?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in this one, are they not continuing? Yeah,
No, it's
you're
all,
right.
it's all gone.
Timelines-
It's all gone since Terminator 2. Literally, bring Linda Hamilton back if nothing else erases everything.
So they're just going to explain again that he's been doing something else and getting old.
Someone threw a wrench in the works and now it's all messed up and oh, we gotta fix the timeline again.
This is how I end this. All right, this is how I ended. All right, we're at that scene, that pivotal moment. Sarah Connor, she's bleeding out, she's been hit, and then out of nowhere, lightning. 2 tracks of fire.
Ooh.
And a DeLorean, and then Doc and Marty hop out and show people how to work fucking time travel. I'm sorry for swearing. Your children are disasters.
It's your kid, Sarah.
Right?
Right.
How perfect would that be? You're welcome. Good night.
Thank you.
All right. We got. I mean, honestly, that would be as legit as any of the others.
Yeah.
we've seen.
Yes!
We have a mic on the side, and we got about 5 minutes left. So if you want to ask us any questions or set
if we missed
the
anything.
record straight about some of the stuff we said.
While you decide, I just want to say at some point you guys should all read, and I hope that one day there's a RoboCop versus Terminator movie. It's a great Genesis game, but the box art for the Super Nintendo's better. So.
Yeah. The honestly, I spent many hours of my
On the game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not being able to
It's
get
very
past
good.
level 2. So if there's any questions or anything like that, then I happily will try and address them. Or if you think that some of the stuff we said was reckless, we will maybe take responsibility.
Maybe this all takes like
We got a young Comic-Con goer on the side here.
a young boy.
Oh, hey, yeah. Do you guys think the best, like, the only hope for Terminator at this point is, like, an Alien versus Predator kind of scenario?
Oh,
Cop kind of thing?
Alien versus Predator
Just a
versus
mass
Freddy
show
versus
combos,
Jason
is that
versus
the best thing?
Terminator.
Mix 2 failing franchises and just try to make some magic with it. Yeah, I think it's probably the best idea.
So Terminator versus RoboCop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I would take it. I was also in the new RoboCop movie in the background.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you like one of these background?
He's a
When
Terminator.
I was living in Toronto, I paid most of my rent by not being in movies, but watching them get made. The big scene where RoboCop walks out with the new armor, you know, kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
I'm in the police station, arrested. So,
That guy doesn't look like he'd get arrested, huh?
thank you. So if you're ever compelled to rewatch the new RoboCop, not the old one, that you should rewatch.
Yeah.
keep an eye out for this guy. Or like this half of my face and a lot of
But I would like to see like an 8-year-old version of you in the original RoboCop getting arrested.
just like watching as people blow up in the alley. I don't know why I'm 8 years old and I'm smoking.
You are.
Good character.
Can I ask a question about this new one?
Yeah.
Or would you be surprised if it turns out Linda Hamilton, she's shooting that shotgun, is she gonna be like a little robot-y?
A little robot.
Or is she gonna get cut open and you're gonna hear circuit breakers and
I mean, like she gets punched in the gut and she just screams like a modem.
and somebody else goes, ow! Yeah, it's because they gotta keep these twists. These are not gonna be simple. The future of Terminator is not going to be simple. It's not going to be character. It's the same
Twist on twist on twist.
Yeah, and this bad guy comes and has a new thing, controls.
But at this point, we know.
I don't even know.
At this point, we know like it's basically a game of like who's the secret robot.
Yes.
Are they on our side or their side? Ooh, there's 2 secret robots and there's one on each side. What will happen?
Yeah. Or the robot's a secret human.
Oh, wow.
That would be hard to pull off.
Right? Some heads just.
That would be like really hard to pull off. Like you get microwaved every night in your recharging station.
They cut you open and test. You're like, ow, bleep, bloop, bleep.
This new bioskin is really good. All right.
Any more questions about us? Even you can ask me about my haircut.
You're wearing a hat.
Yeah, ask me about my haircut.
Do you want to defend one of the Terminator movies that we kind of did not like? I'd like to hear your argument for why they're good.
Actually, sort of, maybe.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Not really.
Let's do it.
It's T3.
Give us your worst.
T3,
yeah.
although completely forgettable. It did have an amazing deleted scene.
Deleted.
Yeah, Sergeant Candy. It's basically Schwarzenegger is in this little video that they made, a promotional video for the army, and he speaks with a Kansas accent, and it's absolutely hysterical. You should YouTube it. Just
I remember
YouTube
that,
T3
actually.
Sergeant Candy.
Yeah.
It's really great.
And it's like he's like the prototype.
Yeah,
like,
saying that I was a prototype of this robot.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And
Actually.
look at me, I like eating shit.
And they left it out of the movie.
Yeah, they
Great,
deleted
awesome.
they deleted the best scene.
Very smart move.
Was it because of the story or his accent?
It was wait, sorry?
Do you think they deleted it because like it didn't fit in with the story?
Well,
or?
actually, the accent. There is a guy sitting there, and he speaks in Schwarzenegger's voice and says, "I don't like the accent" or something like that. It's really epic.
Right.
Well, let me just say, Sergeant Candy, that's an army I'll join. I hope Sergeant Chocolate is my number 2.
Wow.
How much time?
We got just enough time to talk about what else we're doing this weekend. So,
Oh, wow.
thanks for coming to the Terminator panel. I hope that we...
Yeah, thank you guys.
I don't think we gave you any information, but I hope it was fun. So in a couple hours, Dan, you have your panel.
Yeah, I'm doing a B movie versus bad movie. We're gonna tell you how to spot the best bad movies. It's at 9 o'clock on the other side of this hall, room 520 something. I'd love to